Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyana Habib Ilahi Rabbil Alameen Abil Qasim al-Mustafa Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ala ahli baytihi tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin al-mazlumin wa la'natu ad-da'im ala a'daihim ajma'in من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال إمام زين العابدين عليه السلام في مناجاة الشاكين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي إليك أشكو نفسا بالسوء أمارة وإلى خطيئتي مبادرة. Welcome to Question Time, a program that is dedicated to the questions that Mu'mineen they call us, they ask us. While we wait for your telephones, while we wait for your questions, we kind of follow a topic, and we have started looking at the understanding of nafs, and we are using the text of Ayatollah Tahriri. He has written a commentary upon Munajat Shakeen of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. However, while we follow the structure of this book, we will be adding many other sort of understandings in regards to the wordings of the munajat, in regards to the issue of understanding the nafs as well, so that we have a clear picture. Why did we started discussing munajat shakeen? What is the relationship of munajat shakeen with the soul? We are saying that we would be talking about understanding nafs, understanding soul, but what does that have to do with munajat? That's one. The second question I would like to ask is that in our last program we had dedicated that to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. It was the shahadat of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. So we dedicated that program to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. This week program we are continuing to the topic that we have started the week before. The week before we said that when it comes to cheating, when it comes to lying, when it comes to backbiting, when it comes to playing politics, when it comes to calling names, when it comes to making fun of others, when it comes to greed, when it comes that we put our nafs, our ego, our dignity first, when it comes to pulling someone's leg in order that he doesn't progress, when it comes to jealousy, when it comes to envy, unfortunately we see that we are engaging ourselves, and not only just engaging ourselves in all of these evil akhlaq, ethics, characters that have been described by any culture, by any religion, and by Islam as well. We are not only involved with it. Tell me our centers, they don't play politics? Tell me our centers doesn't hold grudges against the mu'mineen who come there with each other? Tell me we are not envious against others? Tell me that we don't backbite? Tell me that we don't poke our nose in other people's business and we tell them what to do and tell them what not to do? Tell me that we don't criticize if someone have done something, that why they have done that way, they should have done this way, or they should have done that way, where we have no right to talk about? We do. Now, having said that, we also, on top of this, think that the Jannah, the hereafter, the Behesht, and the paradise, that only belongs to us and no one else. No one have the right to go there but us. On top of all of that. Now, it's a bit of a severe example, but I would like to strike this example. What we see today of these terrorist cults, groups that have come about, who claim themselves to be Muslims, who claim themselves to be the follower of Rahmatul lil Alameen, the Prophet who was known as mercy to mankind. And when we look at these people and their actions, is completely against the teachings of the Prophet, against the teachings of the Quran, against the teachings of Islam. A man who was mercy to mankind, how can we see that they are so merciless by claiming that they are following of such a Prophet who was so merciful to all people? We are follower of a God who is so merciful. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Rahman, the word is used, the name word is used, the name Rahman, the word Rahman, the name Rahman, whose mercy is used the most in the Quran. We are follower of such a God who is merciful. Now, the example what I was giving was that, these young lots who are committing these crimes against humanity, crimes against deen, against people, against religion, they were exposed to masajid, to the mullahs of the masajid, to the imams of the masjid. They attended namaz Jum'ahs, Salatul Friday prayers. They attended programs at their mosque, seminars and whatnot. They've been brought up in an environment, maybe it was in Syria, maybe it was in Iraq, maybe it was in Morocco, maybe it was in Pakistan, wherever they come from, Saudi Arabia or whatever. They have seen their parents going to these masajid, going to these places of worship day in and day out for Friday prayers. Don't tell me that they never attended Friday prayers. They have attended it. They have attended lectures. They have. But what went wrong, and where did things went wrong? What happened that we see that they have become like beasts? Pardon me, they have become like animals or worse than animals, as the Quran itself says that Ulaika kalhum an'am balhum azal. They are like animals, they are like four-legged, balhum azal, but they are worse than animals. Why are they worse than animals? Because their hearts are darkened. Qaswatul qalb. Their hearts have become harder than the rock. At least the rock will have the capacity to really crack with the constant pounding or dripping of water on a rock continuously. That rock will crack, that rock will have some sort of effect. But the hearts of these people, how merciless that they are, their hearts are hardened. Just like how the hearts of those who killed Imam Hussein and massacred the children of Imam Hussein, burned the tents of Imam Hussein, their hearts were hardened as well. So basically, what went wrong? What really happened after being introduced to the Quran, after being introduced to Islam, after being introduced to such a culture where akhlaq is very important? So if the going of the parents to the masajids, to the seminars, to the talks, celebration of Eid, the culture and the norm that was there, the Islamic atmosphere that they were brought up in, if that was just a norm, if that was just a ritualistic practice without any purpose, and their practices and their behavior and their culture, not Islamic culture, not true Islamic culture, but their culture within the household, within the atmosphere, within the environment, within their country, city, or whatever, village, if it was purely ritualistic and just for the sake of it, then obviously they have seen a contradiction in terms of the preacher, what preacher is preaching, in terms of what the practice of their parents were or is, the practice of the Muslims living there was. They talk about mercy, they talk about justice, they talk about all of these good things, but when it comes to the reality, we are engaging in all of these ill characters, sort of evil, envious practices that we got. Now obviously this becomes a contradiction. When we say that the greatest knowledge or the greatest sciences is the divine sciences, the person to be respected is the spiritual doctor, is the spiritual man. But when it comes to the practice, if they are seeing that not the spiritual guide, not the Quran, not the Islamic values are respected, are practiced truly, but money, but people who have status, people who have better car, those people are respected. Those things are respected. People might not be religious, but they are considered, or they are, for example, having a status in the society, while even after being corrupt, they are the one who've been given the positions. They are the one who are leading or playing the leading role in the society. They are the leaders of their cities or countries or whatever, but they themselves are corrupt. So when they see this contradiction, they are easily brainwashed. See, Islam, what they are talking about is this Islam. But true Islam is the rule of the Khalifa. We have to go back to that. Whatever the Khalifa say, we have to listen to that. Right? They've been brainwashed this way. So now, if our centers, Husainiyas or whatever you want, masajid, if they are, or our parents or our family members or friends are taking their children just for the sake of going there as a ritualistic practice, then obviously we should be, thinking twice. What are we really doing? In which way we are heading? It's a severe example that I have given. I have compared this to something very dramatic, but it is something that we really need to think. What is the purpose? Why are we here? What are we really doing? Like I said in my first program, when we started discussing understanding the nafs, I'm not here, or we are not here, those who are watching are interested in engaging in this discussion to create a revolution as such. Like I said, when I deliver my sermon, there are like maybe 10, 15 people. I say to them, well, what I'm talking about is social change. What's going on? Where we went wrong? Let's bring the change. Let's change change ourselves. Let's change the community. Let's change the state and country. Or no. I'm saying that we got to start somewhere, and the first thing to start is here. That's where we got to start. I told you that the greatest enemy of yours is yourself. The greatest friend of yours is yourself. I'm the most friendly or most caring person to myself, and nobody else can be. And at the same time, I am the most evil, or I am the enemy of myself. And the way I will be enemy of myself, no one else can be. So it is really me who have to bring that change in myself to save myself. I gave you the example of the physical illness, that if a person have, he goes to a doctor, the doctor might assist him for a little while, give him 10-15 minutes of his time and advise him and write him a prescription. But it is you who have to take that prescription. It is you who have to bring that positive energy in you to cure your body. The expert the doctor is, the greater the medicine would be, the greater the advice would be, and he will be blowing into your cure his spirit, his goodwill, his desire. He will be encouraging you. You might have noticed that you go to some doctors, you just feel like you want to leave the room. You just don't want to sit there. Especially, unfortunately here in England, with the type of NHS system that we have, for example, sometimes, when you go to a GP, you're like, oh my God, why am I here? Right? When you're ill, you say, okay, I should go to the doctor to see him. But as soon as you decide, you say, well, if I go to the doctor gonna say, okay, go have paracetamol, come back after 3 days. But sometimes, same NHS system, it depends on the doctor. You go to a doctor, that doctor, yes, he might be prescribing the same thing, but certain things that he will do will really kind of give you that positive energy by which half of your illness is gone, right? Sometimes it's like, when a child comes to you, just to keep him quiet, you just give him a chocolate and you try to get. But sometimes when he comes to you, you try to look at why and how you can guide. You behave in the most kindest way. You behave in a tarbiyati way. You like to really attend to this child. Sometimes you just give chocolate, go. That's how sometimes the doctor do. Okay, fine, oh good. Okay, what are you eating, in terms of the medicine right now? Oh, okay, all right. You have some paracetamol, over-the-counter medicine. Do you need a prescription? I don't think you need a prescription for paracetamol and whatever. Or, for example, he will print something. Okay, do this exercise. He goes on the computer, he prints up, do this 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is that the same way as you have the physical doctors, and the doctors can come to certain, they will walk with you to a certain limit, to a certain point of time, place, and that is yourself. The same way as the spiritual doctors as well. When the physical body becomes ill, the spiritual body also becomes ill. Physical body itself is so complex. Imagine the spiritual body. When the matter and physical reality is so complex, those things which are tangible, those things which you could touch, those things which could see the reaction of it, the changing of color and the form of it, the multiplication of these cells and so on and so forth of it, under the microscope you are seeing it, but you are not being able to see the spiritual chemistry, the spiritual changes that is taking place. I utter a foul word. I utter something that is bad language I uttered. How many malaikas have been repelled? How many malaikas were close to me and I said something bad? Where did they go? Can I see that with the microscope? No. But the spiritual doctor could see it. They asked Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam that how can you figure out what we are thinking? Imam Zainul Abidin said that, have you ever passed by a dumpster, a garbage bin? When you just pass by there, what type of smell does it come? Ugly, bad smell comes from that dumpster, right? So the same way the body and the thoughts, if there is wrong, negative thoughts, then it gives that smell, that bad smell. And the spiritual doctor becomes aware of that. I think we have reached the point of a break. Brothers and sisters, we'll take a break here and then we'll continue on this very topic, understanding the nafs, and then we'll talk about why have I chosen this matn or this text of Munajat-e-Shakeen. And also, let me tell you this and let me remind you, the month of Zilqa'dah is one of the holy months. It is a good opportunity for you and I to really embark upon such discussions, such understanding. There is nothing and nothing more important than yourself to yourself. So let's take a break here and then we'll come back after this short break.